Long ago, thousands of years before we were born, the land we now call China was not one big happy country, but a messy puzzle of many angry little kingdoms that were constantly at war, fighting each other with swords, spears, and arrows in a violent time known as the Warring States period, where chaos ruled and no one was safe. Each of these small kingdoms built their own little walls of mud and dirt to block their neighbors, but everything changed when a fierce and ruthless leader named Qin Shi Huang rose up with his powerful army to crush all the other kings, joining the pieces together to become the very first emperor of a unified China. Although he was now the boss of the land, he could not rest because a terrifying danger rumbled in the north, where wild and lightning-fast warriors called the Xiongnu and later the Mongols rode on horseback, striking villages like a storm to steal food and treasure before galloping back into the vast grasslands where no one could catch them. Emperor Qin knew that to keep his new empire safe and his power secure, he needed a shield bigger than any castle and longer than any river, so he ordered his generals to connect the old broken walls into one massive continuous barrier that would act like a giant stone dragon sleeping across the mountains. This was not a normal building project that you might see today with bulldozers and cranes. It was a brutal and deadly mission that forced nearly 1 million people, including brave soldiers, poor hungry peasants, and prisoners in chains, to leave their families and march to the wildest edges of the country. These workers faced freezing winds that cut like knives and scorching sun that burned their skin as they carried heavy baskets of soil and massive rocks up steep cliffs on their bare backs. And it was such hard and dangerous work that thousands of them died from exhaustion and hunger, leading people to whisper that the wall is the longest cemetery on earth, because the bodies of those who fell were sometimes buried deep inside the structure itself. While Emperor Qin started this giant project using packed earth and wood, the famous gray brick wall with the tall towers that we see in photos today was actually rebuilt and strengthened hundreds of years later by the Ming Dynasty, who used a secret ingredient in their mortar, sticky rice soup mixed with lime, which acted like a super strong glue to make the wall tough enough to survive cannon blasts and earthquakes. This wall was not just a simple fence to keep people out, it was a highly advanced weapon system with thousands of watchtowers where soldiers stood guard day and night, staring into the dark distance for any sign of the enemy. If a guard saw the dust of approaching horses, he would not just shout, he would light a mix of wolf dung and wood to create a thick, dark column of smoke during the day or a blazing fire at night, sending a signal that traveled from tower to tower faster than any horse could run, warning the capital city miles away that war was coming. The wall also helped the emperor control who came in and went out, allowing him to tax the merchants traveling on the Silk Road and keep his own people from leaving the empire. For over 2,000 years, this colossal structure has wound its way over jagged mountain peaks, through hot, dry deserts, and across deep rivers, stretching for over 13,000 miles like an endless spine of stone. It stands today not just as a pile of bricks, but as a powerful reminder of the millions of sweating, aching hands that built it, the emperors who wanted to lock their world away from danger, and the sheer human will it took to tame the mountains and build the greatest wonder the world has ever known.